saying anything but Happy New Year, everybody. Here we are, 2023. We made it through the tumultuous 2022. I was happy to be a survivor, and here we are in 2023, a time of great prosperity. I think probably maybe an economic collapse, but who knows? But meanwhile, John Lamont has once again teamed up with Keith Garvey and what I termed the Windows Intel duopoly that is indie comic books, and you have launched yet another successful Kickstarter. Congratulations, Mr. Lamont.
Thank you.
So I'm going to pull this up for us. So, tell us about the. So, what does it feel like to be the designated leader of the leaderboard of this little group?
Y'all get your act together. This isn't hard.
Let's see.
I mean, clearly you guys don't hate your day jobs as much as I do.
Right. Oh, and by the way, all right. So yeah, and you just did Fan Expo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And that was a some good stuff. And you made more than I did at well, at least last year. Like I stopped doing Fan Expo in New Orleans because the New Orleans people just seemed pretty tight when it came to comic books. We made a decent chunk of change. Well, what were you selling mostly?
Mostly was my $5 comics.
Okay. Wow. Look at that.
That was really what it is. People liked my story, and they were really, interested in like, yeah, that sounds like a fun story, and here's $5 for issue 1.
Awesome.
So, and that was really like my. Oops. Oh wow, we are like all kinds of Inception.
Okay.
All right, there we go. Now it's a new year.
Wrong screen. All right, let's see. There we go. I gotta go. Share screen, Chrome tab. There we go. Angel of Darkness. Here we are. So, so basically, one day into the campaign, maybe like 36 hours or so, you're at $6,700. That's not bad.
Yeah. I launched it about. I stopped for breakfast on my way home.
By the way,
New Orleans yesterday, and
I want to say I see a lot of Keith Garvey covers, and this one has more style.
I agree.
That one has a ton of style, actually.
Yeah. So
this one, I think he really, really went all out.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good looking cover.
Yeah, it is certainly my favorite of all the Garvey covers he's ever done for me.
Yeah. So, and well, I mean, that's big words because, like, that first Miss Temperance was the one that put you on the map.
Yeah, and I wasn't even that huge of a fan of it.
I thought it was cool. All right, so
I know.
Yeah,
a lot of people like it, but you know me and girls with big boobs.
Yes.
So it didn't do a whole lot for me, but people loved it, and I'm like, I definitely saw that there's a market for this, and I'm like, that's the direction that I'm gonna go.
Yes. Okay, so and here you are. So this campaign is gonna hit at least 15, maybe 16, and some change. All right, so here let's go ahead and look at.
Backer Tracker, I think, has it trending towards 16. Something.
Yeah, right now Backer Tracker has it at 16,661, but that would be like, okay, well that means like tomorrow you should be bringing in 65, and then so like in 2 days. It would like you to be at 6,800. I think you could maybe be on track. I mean, what this is saying in a week you would be at $9,000. I mean, I think like 16, maybe even going into 17 is doable. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't be surprised at all. John's been quite successful with these, and he's somehow cornered his market on limited goodies, and of course with every new issue you release, right, you increase the likely basket size of any new customer,
right? Exactly.
Like I'm launching Cygnus Imperium 3 probably near the end of the month, and I mean I'm going to go for a much more John Lamont style campaign if I never get that meeting booked with him.
Okay.
But I'm really excited about it because like I know I'm going to be selling back issues and it's going to do pretty well, right?
Yeah. By the way, John, over the weekend, were you selling a lot of people one book, or were you selling them 3 books?
Okay, so 2.
2.
So
Okay.
it was either 2 or 4. So
Okay.
what would typically what my interaction typically would be is customers would either buy both issue 1s.
Yeah.
Remember, I got issue 1 and issue 2
Yeah.
of both Spirit of the Dragon and Angel of Darkness.
Right.
So my customers would either buy both issue 1s,
Mhm.
or they would buy issue 1 of Angel of Darkness, or issue 1 and 2 of Angel of Darkness, and issue 1 and 2 of Spirit of the Dragon. Rarely did anybody ever buy just one book. A few
Okay.
people did.
Well, I
But
mean,
most of the time they were
that's
buying
good
2
news
books.
then. I mean, that means that your average sale is 10 instead of 5.
Yes, my average sale was probably $10. There were some people that bought all 4,
Yeah.
which was great. But most of the people, it was either, oh yeah, give me both issue 1s and I'll check them out,
Right.
or other people were like, oh, I like the zombie story, so give me 1 and 2 of that.
Right.
Especially,
Did you meet a lot of like zombie genre fans who were like, I buy it if it's zombie genre?
there were a handful of those too. Yes.
Yeah, you run into those people.
Yeah, there were a handful of those, and then there were a few people that were picking up like issue. They were interested in the story, so they picked up issue 1, and of course, I had to immediately show them issue 2 because the art is like 1,000 times better.
Yeah.
And then of course I gave them the whole story about the artist and why I fired him, and now I have this guy, and they're like, "Oh man, that is really good." Some people even complimented the original artist, and they're like, "Oh, this artist isn't bad, but this is still way better."
Yeah.
So there was a lot of that, and yeah, it was mostly all that. It was either like, give me your 1s, or give me 1 and 2 of this story, or 1 and 2 of that story. And then I had a handful of people that would come by and just took all 4 of them off me.
Okay.
I did not sell a lot of my variant covers, which kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, a few people did buy them. I sold 1 sushi cover, I sold a few whiskey paints, and I sold a few Garveys, but for the most
for Sinus Imperium, I was at so I just being like dipping my toe into variant covers with that project just to see how it goes, and obviously I'm doing more of that. So I'm just doing 1 variant for each of those, just the whiskey paint ones,
which is a good cover, by the way. I like that one
consistently, and I just hired him the other day to do the one for issue 3.
Mm-hmm.
Although again, experimental. I also know a cosplayer who's going to do a variant cover for issue 3.
Sure.
So
the result of your experiment is you wanted to do more of them.
Well,
yeah.
This is the variant cover experiment project.
Yeah, okay.
But I've been doing small cons all like for most of 2022.
Right.
And when I started getting Cygnus Imperium out, I would have both covers out, and consistently people were just buying the cheaper one.
Right.
I totally screwed up my restock before an event with like 10 other indie creators at a comic book shop. So it was like a pretty big local thing. I only had variant covers, and people had no problem buying those. But when you have like twice as many books on the table, and actually a whole bunch of them are the same, it's really quite confusing. And if someone's really into it, like having it off to the side for the price point really helps. But like, John, it might be worth considering like just only have variant covers and charge $10 for it and see if that works for the issue 1, especially. And see if that'll work at events. Because at events, it's like, okay, well, they meet you, they spend like 20 minutes talking to you. Fine, it's worth $5 just for that conversation of entertainment. Here you go. I'll check out your book. Like that, it seems like that is broadly what that interaction tends to be like if you're not getting like somebody who's totally in love with your work. So if the floor is just, well, I've only got the variant covers left, they're $10, but like there's a limited number of them or whatever, like that's your pitch. It's still going to work, I suspect. And it saves you the table space. Like you can just have the extra art as posters and other stuff that's like, more flashy. And in those formats, you're using that to bring people to your booth. But, yeah, I found I've done better when I've had fewer variant covers of the same thing on my table.
Awesome.
Yes, what I'm going to do next time is I'm just going to drop a comic box on my table with all my variant covers, and I'm only
That's
going to
what I
have
do. Yeah.
I'm going to have a handful of variant covers on my table, and the rest of them are just going to be in a box with a giant sign that says variant covers $15 and up.
Yep. Exactly.
Just to get an idea, Cygnus Imperium was the Cyberpunk Kickstarter.
That
No.
is the giant robot that punches spaceships Kickstarter. Yeah.
Okay.
So I did 2 issues of that last year, and then I just launched my graphic novel coming into Christmas.
Okay.
And while that was happening, I was getting issue 3 colored. Alan finished that, so I'm just building the campaign page now, and I'm going to submit that so I can start having something shareable soon. I'm also doing the aluminum trading cards for this project. So I'm gonna try and have something like in the Make 100 campaign starting near the end of January,
Okay.
and then probably run it for 3 weeks, and then into the end of February. And I should be like shipping those as I like. There's Toronto Comic Con, which is a fan expo related event, is like the first big event of the year, and that's like in mid-March. So. I actually signed up for that this year because now I have a graphic novel, so I kind of need to. And I'm incredibly nervous about that, but also, there's going to be tens of thousands of people at it, so it could do really well.
Yeah. You
Are
should.
graphic novels like a bigger project to like promote in terms of like getting people to actually buy into them, or?
Oh my god!
They have a higher price point and a higher value, or
Okay.
perceived.
They have a better margin.
Yeah.
Unless you're printing in like really high numbers for your floppies. Like
Yeah.
I like the margin of the trade paperbacks a lot.
Yeah.
I found the margin on the individual issues was. I didn't print a lot of them.
Not good.
Bloody
Yeah.
hassle.
Yeah. Exactly.
Especially for that project, because I just printed a really small run of individual issues, mostly to just stop tinkering with it. Like that did pretty well. I did okay on the campaign, and I would have done actually pretty okay on the campaign if I didn't pay so much for marketing. So if it helps, I need the best.
All I want to say is when you say pay so much for marketing, it wasn't me. All right.
Yeah. You saw your numbers, Preston.
Yeah.
They weren't great numbers, but they weren't bad numbers. They
Yeah.
weren't numbers that made me disappointed for that campaign.
Right.
That was not where the expense was for marketing.
Yeah.
But there was another like $2,000 American worth of marketing I spent that did not go very far.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So,
fine.
on the other hand, I've got
Yeah.
a handsome book with good margins.
There you go.
And you also promised to buy one.
I did.
And
Okay.
well, I want an excuse to send you something.
Okay. Fair enough. All right.
So let's have a chat about that later.
Sure.
Something where like cost and shipping is very cheap.
Okay.
Because,
Yeah. No problem. And while we're here, let's look over some pencils. So this is Ediano Silva's Palace of the Golden Princess 3. And I like it. So we've got, demonic Thora here holding Queen Arica, and Enrun, the governesses, Samantha and Arica. And so that looks good, right, Danny?
That absolutely looks good.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with any of that.
Yeah. Okay. So then,
yeah, that's a nice page.
I like that.
That's a great page 1.
All right.
Your files seem to be backwards, so try pushing the button on the other side of the screen.
Oh, other side. Okay. Oh, look at that. How did you get to be so smart? Okay.
I have 3 degrees, dude.
Okay. There we go. So I was pleased with how this looked. I like the artwork so much. Sometimes I just want to like eliminate all the talking, but this scene has a lot of talking in it.
Yeah, and a lot of it. That's been a consistent note for this issue.
Okay.
You will see in your Discord, the most recent submission had a bit of that too.
Yeah.
There's what we ended up doing in the script, and this is a good comics creation note because I've given this note to John a few times too. Is for some reason a bunch of the dialogue got bunched into one panel, and that's fine in the script, right? And then we get this really gorgeous piece of art, and we're like, oh shit, now what?
Yeah.
because actually there's like 5 balloons that are supposed to be in that. If you can bring it up again, Preston.
Yeah. It was messing up for a minute.
Yeah,
So.
there's like 5 balloons with like back and forth between like multiple speakers that are all in that panel in like the bottom right.
Oh goodness.
Like,
there it is.
I guess
Yeah,
6
okay, and then
the
it.
spread, right? Like that last panel in the bottom right.
All right.
And
See which page? That was
that would
page
be
2.
Page 2, 3. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 and 3.
So, like Arika's talking to the demon and to what's her name, like the priestess Samantha.
Yes.
In that panel, and like it just the locations for the characters just don't work for that at all. So there's like 5 balloons, basically on like the bottom, I guess, quarter of that second page, the bottom right corner of that second page, essentially. Because there's other dialogue with the demon and Eureka that go like on either page 2 or the top left of page 3. So yeah, we just had to cut the dialogue there, and it's going to end up stacking between the demon's fist and Samantha, and then down underneath what's her name, and like over the flowing robe. And there's not much we can do about it.
It's really pretty artwork, though.
It is really pretty artwork. Well, it's a good thing you have copies of these pencils to put in your process stuff when you turn this into a trade.
I just have a question for the background. Is it more like fiery, or is it like earth kind of being ripped apart?
It should be earth being ripped apart.
It should, yes.
I thought there was fire or something. I wasn't sure.
I think those are just action lines to like draw attention into where the hand is, because the hand's like, there's a ton of foreshortening and forced perspective, pushing the hand out of the page a little bit.
So here, Thora has transformed back into. See, is this? Oh, this is page 6. Sorry, page 6 is 2. Page 6, page 5, page 7. I want to go to page 4. Goodness, this Dropbox is not the easiest.
Oh, you're using Dropbox.
I'm using Dropbox.
Ah, that's what's going on.
There. So page 2, 3 was here. Here we go. Page 4.
I think if you sort by name, it solves the problem.
Probably.
Anyways.
All right. So then, boom, we have, some cool talking and Queen Arika being all snooty. And then, boom, we have the transformation. And then, we have Arika without a wig. And Thora is being restrained by by Akasha over here. And that's what we got. And pretty good. Right? We're happy with this one.
I mean, I think my note was more boobs.
Yeah, I believe. Well, yeah,
I rarely give that note.
Yeah, well, I mean, you say that, but then
it's a work order.
When we get to when we get to the page we were looking at there with Thora, I know, the note was the clothes aren't shredded enough. Like,
I am
this one
in film too. The script is a work order, and that's how I treat it.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. So, all right. So then we get to page 5, and were there any questions here on page 5?
I didn't like the breakout. It didn't add anything to anything, so I asked to get rid of that in the inks.
Okay.
Because that breakout has no narrative function whatsoever.
Okay. All right.
I have another illustrator who I yelled at a lot for breakouts that don't do anything. I was like, put it in the box. What are you doing?
Right.
So there was that, and it was like rip Thora's clothes some more. That was pretty much it.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, and like a couple of.
I
think there was like some placement stuff. Those last 2 panels, there wasn't clearly enough room for all the dialogue, so I asked for them to be inked in a way where they would split the page a little bit closer to down the middle.
Yeah.
Because there's more dialogue in that last panel, and it's a whole lot smaller. And so I was like, reduce the gutter size a little bit, like push that border over, draw more background so we can put dialogue on it.
Yeah. Okay. And then
this is good. This is good memory practice too. I haven't looked at some of these since last year. was only what, like 5, 6, 7 this year so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we got this page. This is page 6.
Yeah. There was just a couple more headroom things.
All right. On there's Cucky the Jester.
Oh yeah, no, he's like throwing some balls around on panel 4.
Yeah.
Bucky finds his balls just as you wrote the script, so that's good.
And yeah, then there he is. He's juggling, and then we have, just as you suggested, that will be the that'll kind of function as our narration as we do the travel scenes here.
Now, you know, you need to open issue 4 with some cucky narration.
It would be.
Yeah, now it's a thing. You got to suck this one up, brother.
It would be kind of funny if, you know, insteove of like the Conan narrator, you know, instead we get it's Cucky the Jester.
I mean, dude, you've really got to lean into your gimmicks, and you've now established that you've got an in-world character.
Yeah.
And wasn't there just like a Witcher prequel that had the in-world character to tell the story as well? Same thing. You got to lean into that stuff.
Yeah, I suppose so. All right. So here, oh boy, here we are. We are 7 pages in, and now we are in a dead city, and it looks pretty cool. I can tell he took the note on making it look a bit like Nineveh. So awesome.
Good.
Yeah.
There was a couple of things. I think I asked you to look a bit more closely at in your Discord.
Okay.
Was just like, yeah, does the city look right?
I mean, I'm fine with it. Yeah.
Okay. And then later on is going to be like, you know, make sure that you, the creator, have approved the design of the temple, and then the design of, there's that statue on page 7.
Okay. This is page
6.
7. This is page 7.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah. So
Did I not upload that? Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
All right.
What am I doing? I thought I uploaded that.
It is not in the folder.
Golden Princess.
Okay.
Pencils. What have I got here? Oh yeah, hold on. Let me just put that in the. Oh, you're looking at the high res folder.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Yes. Okay.
Pencils. Cool. Low res. All right. Which one do I want? 8. I want 8.
Yes, that would be the next one.
Okay. Boom. Let's see. It certainly moves a lot easier when it's low res. The high res stuff was killing the processor.
Like 5 megabytes.
Looks good.
It does look good.
Look
I edited the script for that top panel, by the way.
This is. I feel like this comic offers everything women want. I mean, look at all these skulls followed by lady ass, right?
Yeah, no, it's got a ton of skulls and a ton of lady ass.
Yeah.
I edited the script on this one, so the top panel, because not much else was going on in it, but I knew it was going to be a big panel. I was like, do some forced perspective with some foreground skulls. Let's go. Yeah. You know, the inside of this, because you didn't write the script about the quantity of the of corpses inside the city.
Right.
I was like, well, a city with nobody dead in it, and a whole lot of people dead outside.
Well, okay. I mean, I felt it would be annoying if I had to sit there. Like, I'm trying to give the artists their freedom. I have said that this is a city where a genocide took place, and, you know, kind of given direction in previous panels to litter the bodies. I feel like it would be tedious. So they go, oh yes, make sure put lots of skeletons.
You're not wrong, but I made sure there was some of that. By the way, this is a thing. Here's an idea in the script that got sent to the artist, just because there were no notes about it after the front gates.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
So yeah, I'm glad that turned out really well.
Oh, I like it. There he is, Nergal.
Yeah,
looks good. Yeah.
If you like that, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lady ass. Oh, so good. Juicy. All right. So, yeah.
A weird axis change on that last panel, but it works fine because Thor is the one giving all the exposition.
Yeah. I mean, look, I love it. So I say yes.
Yay.
Yay. Okay.
And then I did give some notes on that the last page if we want to talk production stuff.
Okay, sure.
9. I mean,
which
yeah,
is
we're filling in time here, but we're talking about production stuff. So
we are. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I figure this is something that benefits people. This discussion, you know. I don't know. Let's see, and I find it entertaining. Okay, so page. No, we just looked at this one, didn't we? Yeah, we looked at this.
that was 8. So
I
we're
think this
looking
is the last
at
one.
9 now.
9. Okay. 9. I love just I love all the lady ass. Like it's yes.
There are butts on heads on butts everywhere,
Yeah.
which I don't have a problem with.
Okay. Yeah.
So panel 2
Yeah.
has Thora giving a long line, and then what's her name again? Gretchen responding to it.
Yeah.
And there's not really space in the top left of that panel to stack that.
Okay.
So I actually asked to move the panel like out to the margin instead of just overlapping it for no narrative reason. Because what ends up happening is you have a bit of dialogue in panel 1, more dialogue in panel 2, right beside panel 1, and then nothing on the entire other side of the page. And then panel 3, I asked for that to be inked actually centered on the center line of the page.
Okay.
Because Thora has like 3 balloons, and that would also basically stack on the left.
Okay.
Right.
Huh.
And then you just have like butts on top of heads on top of dialogue, and it's super dense for no reason.
Right.
So I just asked for that to be moved. So there was so much dialogue that and there's so much white space on this page.
Yeah.
That I saw no reason not to suggest to move the art.
Okay. Oh, mansplain. Okay, and I'm looking forward to page 10. Let's hold on. Page 10. Is page 10 up here? Page 10 is not up. Okay.
8 and 9 came in this morning.
All right, I'm looking forward to 10. I bet Larry's looking forward to 10. Right, Larry?
I'm sure everyone's looking forward to 10.
Larry,
sure. Yeah.
Larry doesn't care. Larry doesn't give a shit.
This was like on the editing side of things, like especially with an artist that's A, that good, but also B, working traditionally, like asking for stuff to be moved at this level is super annoying. And making sure at the same time that you have room for the dialogue without having to obscure details is one of the benefits of having the additional production step of inking. Right. And you still get the additional opportunity to make that last set of edits. So I've been rather judicious about it because, it's a lot of work to do art that good.
Yeah.
To better serve the story and to keep the reader going, like we can't densely stack characters and dialogue all down the left side of the page for no reason, like that kind of thing. So I'm really conscious of that, and fingers crossed it's going to get remembered when it comes to getting inked and lead to a better product.
Let's hope so. All right, so we have some an Angel of Darkness variant ending, or is this just the regular? What is this, John? Share with us, Mr. Lamont. These are your pages.
Sorry about that. I forgot I had the mute on. So this is the end of Angel of Darkness, issue 5. This is the current ending that I'm going with, unless it sucks monkey balls and I decide to go rewrite it.
All right. Well,
what was wrong with the last ending?
Well, it didn't provide. Look, the all of the Angel of Darkness endings so far, in my opinion, have lacked any sense of more, like a moral judgment. And the way that like genres will often make moral judgments about things. Like if like the bad people prosper and the good people suffer, and there's not even an acknowledgement of like if the good people aren't like suffering out of sacrifice or suffering out of something noble, it's just the bad people made bad decisions and it worked out great for them, and the good people make good decisions and their life sucks. I'm going to say you have a story problem.
It's certainly true to life.
Okay, all right. So, like
Yeah, but people don't come to entertainment to be reminded about how shitty life is.
Right.
Generally, no, they don't.
So,
No, we're going for ending like summoning a horde of zombies and getting all of your friends and family killed is bad.
Right, exactly. So I'm saying she's done bad things, and she just kind of goes, my bad, and walks off screen, and life is good, And I'm like,
all right. Well, since John is so pleased with himself,
okay,
I'm going to make a prediction.
All right.
That John is not so bad of a writer that it ends up with a showdown between Nikki and whatever her name is.
Aaron.
During which there's a gunshot, the comics equivalent of a gunshot,
yeah,
fade to black. So I guess the sound effect bang over a black panel, the end.
Okay.
I'm going to guess that won't happen,
right?
Because John is way too good for that.
Okay.
But that is definitely what an amateur writer would do.
All right. Okay, John. Who wishes to narrate?
Well, I'll have Danny narrate like usual.
Sounds good. Now, I will say I genuinely do not remember what happened the last time we read this right now off the top of my head.
So, Danny, I'm not even sure if you were here because so we're about to get into.
So this would have been like October. I remember I read one version of the end of this.
Of issue 5? Are you sure?
Unless it was the one day I missed.
Because we haven't really gone through issue 5 for since I started this 2 years ago.
Oh, this is issue 5. Okay.
Yeah, this is issue 5.
Yeah, there's a barn, right? And there's a face-off. So and there was someone runs by and there's
right. So you guys weren't here. Okay, so after the last time we met, I rewrote the fight scene between Nikki and the Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
And it's based on feedback. Instead of her killing the animal to power her spell, she slashed her wrist to power the spell.
I love it. There's some self-sacrifice in there. That's a good move towards that kind of moral judgment that Preston was suggesting.
Yes, Preston seemed to be very pleased since you all never bothered to show up at our last stream, and it was just Preston and I. He did seem that he liked that particular version. So basically, she spends the entire fight trying not to bleed to death while she's fighting the Shadow. The majority of the action scenes between Aaron and Hansu were cut. And it went, and instead of doing the whole gun shootout through the town thing, I cut all of that. And instead, he just went right to the barn scene. During the barn scene, she has more of a heated argument with Hansu rather than fisticuffs, since that's a bit of out of character for her in this particular story. And in the, since it was kind of, the tone shift was not working. So that I kind of cut. And then basically what happened was while they're having an argument, Nikki shows up and then things go to hell. Long story short, basically Hansu grabs a hammer, like a little mini sledgehammer type thing, and basically starts beating on both of the two women, and then Nikki casts a spell, and basically we kind of I decided to just pick up with this scene here, which we did read last time. It's unchanged from last time, but basically,
I'm pretty caught up.
Say what?
And I feel like I'm pretty caught up. And so you're going to go for volume. The volume title is going to be Nikki Ruins Everything.
Yep.
Yeah, basically.
Cool. All right, let's go. Page 30 to 31. Panel 1. Ooh, so this is a 2-page splash. Way to go.
This is a 2-page splash.
Interior barn day. Nikki stands slightly off-center to this 2-page splash with her arms outstretched. In one hand, she holds the skull facing Hansu. I'm assuming the skull is facing Hansu.
Yes.
Red chaos magic flows from the face of the skull, wrapping around and encasing Hansu's body. White life force energy is drawn from Hansu, snaking around the magic flow towards Nikki. The life force energy snakes around Nikki's arm to her chest, wrapping around her body, and then snaking down her opposite arm. That's a good image. Nikki raises her empty hand towards Aaron. The white life force energy radiates from Nikki's open hand, surrounding Aaron, lifting her up off the ground and healing her wounds. Okay, so it's like levitation and healing magic.
Yes.
Excellent.
Who's Nikki?
Larry, why don't you do Nikki?
All right, Larry.
Sure. So let me add one more to the ledger of souls that has damned me. Let my blood be satiated so that you might live on.
Page 32. Interior barn day. Panel 1. Hansu's body implodes as every gram of his body mass is compressed into jelly.
Unexpected.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Sound effect, not that. It'll be like squish.
Unexpected. There we go.
It might even be implode.
Yeah.
No, hold on. This isn't a comedy book, so it won't be implode, but still. Panel 2. The white life force energy dissipates around Erin as she stands, fully restored through her uniform, through her uniform and skin remains stained with blood. Okay. And was that not a panty shot? That was. I guess not.
I mean, the white life force radiates around Erin as she stands fully restored, though her uniform and skin remain stained with. I mean,
everything's a panty shot.
Everything's a panty shot.
Yeah,
I mean,
my artists know better.
I mean, yeah, like,
all right,
yeah. I mean, like the panty is part of the uniform at this point.
Sure. Yeah. Nikki throws her arms around Erin, hugging her. We see Erin's back, and Nikki expressing relief. Erin is restored. Behind them, the ball of blood jelly that was Hansu goes splat across the floor. Splat. Good. That was an appropriate sound effect.
You're alive. I was afraid I might have been too late.
Panel 4, reverse of panel 3. Nikki and Erin are still embracing, but we see Nikki's back and Erin's face as she stares down toward the puddle of bloody goop on the ground, disgusted.
Ibrahim, why don't you do Erin?
Okay. Oh my God, that smell.
I think it's time for me to go.
My work is done.
Page 33. Interior barn day. Panel 1. Erin and Nikki stand facing each other. Erin has her hands on Nikki's arms, trying to reassure her. In the background, we can still see the puddle of bloody goop.
You're coming back to London with me to answer for this.
I can sense a change coming in the world. The magics are out of balance, if not restored.
Panel 2. Erin reaches for a pistol, finding her holster empty.
That is not justice.
Panel 3. Nikki walks out of the barn. Erin stands behind her, angry and upset.
I hope we meet again, Lieutenant.
Which she does. I guess they're kind of friends. Panel 4. Erin finds herself alone, exhausted.
How am I going to explain this?
All right, page 34. Exterior, Cairo train station, day. A 9-passenger steam train parked. Passengers, families, soldiers, explorers, load and unload. There are no objects to these verbs. Caption, Cairo train station. Panel 2. Erin steps off the train, her uniform clean, though wrinkled, and shows signs of the last few days' adventures. No coffee. Panel 3, large panel. Erin stands at attention, saluting 3 older officers, all in uniform, who do not salute back. A highest ranking speaks.
Second Lieutenant, we received your cables and are quite disappointed with your account, which is undead.
I'm sorry, sir. I only meant to report the facts, sir.
The fact is, we are disavowing your entire mission. You are to speak of it to no one, or you will be stripped of what low rank you have. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You are to report to Colonel Smith in London by 0800 day after tomorrow. Dismissed.
Panel 4. Erin signs relaxing. She purses her lips a little nervous. Behind her, we see the same officers greeting other officers. They exit the train with their conscripts. No copy.
You had pursed lips. What more do you want?
Nikki suddenly knows sign language. Page 35, Interior Colonel Smith's office, day. Over
Preston,
the shoulder.
why don't you do Battelle?
Okay.
Erin, over whose shoulder? Erin stands in her uniform facing Rajeth Patel. An Indian man in a tailored dark suit stands in front of a window drinking tea. Windows can drink tea.
There we go.
The view outside shows 1930s London. Caption, London, 1 week later.
Can I help you?
Oh, wow, you're going all out. I love it.
I'm trying. I've talked to a lot of Patels in my day.
Panel 2. Erin looks at a large painting on the wall.
British.
Rotund. Erin looks at a large painting on the wall of a rotund white man wearing a safari outfit and brandishing a long hunting rifle. The plaque identifies the man in the painting as Colonel John Smith. The painting hangs over a coal-burning fireplace with a low fire.
I was told to report to Colonel Smith.
Panel 3. Patel sits at the desk. The name plaque on the desk reads Colonel John Smith.
Please sit.
See, that's cute. I like that
You
exchange.
like what?
The Patel is behind the Colonel John Smith thing.
Oh, okay.
Panel 4, large panel. Erin sits in a guest chair, seated across from Patel. The painting looms over them in the background.
My name is Regis Patel. I am with MI6. I have job proposal for you.
Aaron Rice will return.
See, I feel
Dot,
like
dot,
yeah.
in Moonraker, coming out November
Yeah.
1978.
See, I feel like this line works with the accent. Otherwise, there would be a missing article.
That's all right. I'm also his proofreader.
There we go. All right.
You get so much work for free from me, John.
Uh,
With the kind of money you're pulling in, maybe I should start charging. Page 36, exterior African Oasis night. Panel 1, the matriarch. An African woman in her 60s wearing a Zulu sarong wrapped around her body stands by the bank of a small pond of water. She holds her arms out of the surface of the water. Okay. How is she doing that with her arms being under the surface of the water is a mystery to me. Behind her are several other African witches.
No, that should be over the surface of the water.
Well, it should be, but it's not.
Well, excuse me.
Anyway,
Behind her are several other African witches, all dressed in Zulu-style dresses, adorned with jewelry made of beads and small bones tied together. They all raise their arms outward towards the lake. Nikki's nude silhouette is visible under the surface of the water. She lays submerged on her back, arms and legs outstretched.
Preston, why don't you do the matriarch?
rise, child of the darkness.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Panel 2. Who survives? Nikki rises out of the water as if drawn by a supernatural force. She is nude, of course she is. Her body displayed as she is backward, legs hanging back and limb. Nikki's hair is bleached white, her eyes open, supernatural energy.
Embrace your new life as Jezidral, a daughter of Endor.
Yeah, I'm just, right now, before I forget, mention that Daughter of Endor is gonna say Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, screw them. The Bible did it first.
Okay.
True.
All right.
Jezidral
I mean,
turned ...
yeah.
in something that doesn't sound like
Something-
a James Bond movie, so that joke is over.
Exactly. Yeah. So there we go. Awesome. Well, there you go. There's an ending. So I want to say that the story ended, but also began. So
My
congratulations.
Yeah.
All
You
right,
know,
Preston. I know you hated it. It's
no,
fine.
I didn't. Look, it ended, right? I mean, no one can read that and go, wait, it ended suddenly. Like, no, there's an ending. We had Nikki implode Hansu,
Mm.
and Aaron and Nikki are basically leveled up. Like they had a leveling up ceremony, and Nikki became like arch badass of the black magic, and Aaron became, special agent Aaron. And I mean, it's better. All right, it's better. It's better. There you go. How about that? So, Ibrahim, that's your name, right?
Yeah.
All right. I want you to tell me what you liked about the script we just read.
I like the pacing and the action. I thought it was kind of interesting. I guess one thing I was curious about is like, Hansu and him getting killed. Like, are there like consequences? Like, is he tied to some organization?
We don't want to go over what questions you had. We're going to go over the nice things.
All right. Well, yeah, I like that aspect of it. I like the way the magic kind of was like the magical effect. It looked kind of interesting.
Right.
And yeah, I thought, it's kind of like, even though it's like a lot of things are going on in that scene, we get some good dialogue between the characters. So I thought that was pretty good.
Awesome. All right, Larry.
Yes.
Pass? You're just passing? Like,
I can't really think of anything, honestly.
Okay, all right, Danny.
Yeah.
This seems like a fine conclusion for this series.
There we go.
Also, yeah, the magic was very well described. I can imagine what that looks like. And that means that you've done some things quite well there. And also, I like that he just turns into a pile of goo and you can get on with your life.
All right. Constructives. So, Ibrahim, you had some questions.
Well, I was just wondering, like, Hansu, is he tied to some organization that's kind of after Nikki and Aaron? And like, I was just wondering, like, as they battle people, like, are there consequences or people that get dragged into fighting Nikki and Aaron because they killed this person? Or I guess that was more like a curiosity or like some question I had.
Sounds like you found a fan, John.
There you go.
Nikki has had a long-standing feud with Hansu for the last 7 years, and she has been seeking to enact revenge against him. So it is kind of a conclusion of her journey of revenge, I guess you could say.
Okay. I guess
Aaron was more or less caught in the middle of it, as was unfortunately all of the people that were killed by the zombies.
Is there any way to like fight magic in this world if you don't have magic, or is it just like magic people are just overpowered or something?
It seems pretty OP. I would look at it as the equivalent of using the Force.
Okay.
You don't see a lot of Force users lose.
Right.
So,
unless it's against another Force user.
Right. I mean, it goes without saying, but yes.
Which, of course, this page 36 is the first time we're introduced to other people that can also do magic.
Okay.
So that's... But I don't want to talk about that yet.
Okay. Constructive notes.
Yeah.
I would have liked it more if it were more tragic. Like I want Nikki to die. I feel Nikki needs to pay for her sins. And in the genre of the zombie things, I mean, like everybody dies. I mean, like, you're kind of in genre. I'm making a zombie movie, but at the end, Nikki and Aaron are like leveled up. See you later. And I don't know. I would have killed Nikki. That's me. All right, Danny, you got anything?
Well, there are some obvious spelling and grammar issues. I did not like the Endor thing. Broadly, I did actually quite like this, although bouncing off of Preston's point, there are 2 characters who will return, and I think you should make a decision as to which of them the book is about. is this a book about Nikki and her crazy fucked up mad science adventure, or is this a book about Aaron, getting caught up in all this crap and becoming James Bond?
I mean, this is we can't really change the start because we're going over issue 5 and we're currently kickstarting issue 3.
So my point, and we brought this up a few times, especially regarding this issue,
right,
is that John in the script phase has been hesitant to decide which of these characters is his protagonist.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because he had this emergent protagonist model. So like horror movie style. Oh, look at that. It turns out the story is kind of about her, but the story does. I mean, look, I would say this is clearly Nikki's story, but Aaron seems to be like hogging the limelight a lot, like poking her head in and going hi. And
at any rate, whoever's story it is, their denouement should come last.
Say what? What was that? I'm sorry.
Whoever's story it is, their denouement should come last.
What do you mean by
denouement? The happy ending.
Oh, happy ending. Okay.
Like roll up phase of the story when you reduce the tension and point to what might happen next. So if this is a Nikki story, if the way this is written is a Nikki story, Nikki's conclusion comes last. Aaron's conclusion doesn't need a Aaron will return. Because Aaron's not the protagonist. Or this is an Aaron story. You switch the order of those pages. Secretly, this is actually an MI6 thing, and that's where you're going with it. That's super cool anyways. You're going to get people on board no matter what you do. But yeah, so that's a page order thing. Because they're both page
to answer your question, this Angel of Darkness is Nikki's story.
So,
but it is through the eyes of Aaron.
Story, there's no reason to have an addition. Like, I would recommend making.
You mean two endings? Basically, I have two endings.
Yeah, the two endings is fine. Having two endings end with this character will return is not fine. Pick one of those characters to return.
Well, what if they're both returning?
Sorry.
What if they're both returning?
Then make the other one a surprise.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Right? Like,
I mean, look, honestly, look. Okay, look. I mean, not to get all philosophical here, and
just do 2 books.
First up, who the fuck am I to talk to give John notes? All right, he's making 16 grand. Who the fuck am I, right? But that being said, I feel like it's a little cheap to go. They will return. I feel like that's not really an ending. That's just a pause for a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Unless you're a Marvel movie, but
thank you, Larry. That's exactly where I took it from.
Yeah, I mean, I know.
It was my original idea was it was going to be a black page, and it was just going to say, "Aaron will return." ...
Okay, I'm just
because it was the whole concept of doing that whole line all came from the whole Marvel thing, because yes, a sequel is coming and these characters are coming back.
I know
Marvel is not the only person who's the only company that's done this.
I understand. They just have to be the most.
Yeah, I know. All I'm saying is it takes the weight off of. I feel like.
I didn't want to say the end, because I mean, while it is the end, it's also not.
Anyway, all right, exactly.
Stick your mini logo like it's the end of this. It's the end of this volume.
I mean, I could. I mean, it doesn't have to have anything on there. It could just the page just could be, and that could be it. That's
actually a little known bit of comics grammar. To be continued, so will happen in the middle of a story, and then when you're putting in a trade, usually there's nothing. Then the end, you put the logo at the actual end of the volume.
Yeah,
where it's this story is done. This volume is done. I think John or Larry, probably one of you, I think, backed my Kickstarter. You can look at my digital book I sent over. There's the cute little thing at the end of the volume. That's the end of the volume. It's only at the end of the volume, at the end of issue 4, not at the end of issue 1, 2, or 3. So just having like a thing, hey, done for now, is fine. But if you're selling a specific sequel with a specific title, then name drop that title, right? Like Nikki will return in the bold adventures of Nikki the witch, not whose name is Nikki anymore, super zombie fighter in Nikki versus all of the horrible Nazi zombies ever.
Yeah.
Then just say that, because then you're selling that book well before it even happens.
All right.
Okay.
So, Larry,
Yeah.
tell me about space.
Well,
is it big?
it's very large. Yes.
Okay.
Massive even. It's just
Mind-bogglingly big.
yeah.
Yeah. And here comes Godzilla.
Yes.
Okay.
I kept the first 5 pages mostly the same. I just did a
Okay.
slight rewrite on them, so I
Fair
didn't
enough.
feel the need of putting those back in there.
Of
So-
course. Who
yeah.
do you want to narrate?
Oh, probably Danny.
Danny.
He's good at that.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You don't want to give Danny a break?
No.
No, it's a new year. Danny can live without a break today. We'll push back later.
It's not a Moby script, so
Yeah, those are exhausting.
Yeah.
It's difficult to describe how exhausting it is to read a Boldy script word for word as written.
I can barely do the dialogue on this.
I
so
mean,
it's like-
the sad
Well, the
thing
problem
is
is the
like,
brain
look,
rejects it.
look, the sad thing is like, I think like with the changes in AI, like pretty soon Moby's gonna start turning in like some grammatically great scripts that I'm gonna be.
You
like,
know what?
what?
Even with
oh god.
the way modern AI is, Boldy
Yeah.
should just put his art direction into AI and see
Yeah.
what comes out.
No.
Go for it, man.
Yeah.
Why not? Somebody's got to do it, I suppose.
I mean, look, I
But yeah, those are exhausting to read aloud as written
Actually,
Yeah.
somebody already did, and their Kickstarter got shut down.
for
yeah.
art.
Well,
or-
it probably
or-
had copyrighted stuff in it.
It,
So,
it was.
yeah.
That was exactly
Yeah.
why it got shut down. But they were using
Yeah.
it was an AI art generated comic book, and yes, there was a whole Twitter kerfuffle over it, and basically Kickstarter shut the campaign down.
Yeah, I could see that happening. Yeah.
Be that as it may, when I'm reading one of Larry's scripts, I don't have to fight my own brain by interpolating the words
right.
and making sure all
Sort
the
of, yeah.
sentences are reasonably
Well, that's
correct.
because you both speak Canadian. That doesn't
Yeah,
count.
yeah.
No, because we both write and read in English.
There you go.
Sometimes.
No, you guys both write and read in Canadian.
Yeah.
Go.
Anyways, Moon Baby, page 5,
Yeah.
panel 1, wide shot, view of the dark side of the moon. The Earth peaks
That's no
over
moon.
the horizon on the left as the sun flares around it. On the surface of the moon, a large base can be seen lit up in the darkness. Visibly large communication arrays can be seen in the middle of the base, lit by running lights around them. International Lunar Laboratory 2. Panel 2. Wide shot, inside a cramped cylindrical laboratory capsule with 3 computer stations and 2 large monitors on either side of a large airlock door. Okay, no verbs. A young male Japanese scientist of average height, build, and looks, Amano Jin, sits at a station in the foreground, talking over his shoulder to his colleagues at back-to-back stations in the background. Ella Bauer, a young female German scientist, short, skinny, rather plain-looking, and Ling Li, a middle-aged Chinese male scientist, looking average and fit, but grizzled beyond his age. Exist. Sure, we needed a verb there. They all wear drab gray jumpsuits with a triangular-shaped patch on the left arm.
I just want to give a note on descriptions.
Uh-huh.
So I'm glad you're describing the characters. That's super cool. But there's no need to say looking average and fit but grizzled. Just take out the
True.
looking average. Just go looking fit but grizzled.
Okay.
You know, like something like that. Yeah. You don't got to go, well, they look totally average except for this other part. Just say the other part, and then there you go.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, if you
So
want bland
we-
average people, your artist will be happy to draw you bland average people.
Yes, it is generally. You will get exactly what you're looking for if you're looking for bland average people.
Yeah.
You will get problematically what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's. I'm reminded of. So sorry, I'm reminded when I was discussing Angel of Darkness 1 with all of my customers over the weekend, and I would compare the art. And the comment that I kept saying was, well, yeah, see, the character's face looks very plain and kind of boring. And then now look at this new page and see how much better the character looks. And yes, this kind of reminded me of that. So
Yeah.
Okay.
So John may have an artist in mind to draw this script.
Possibly.
There you go.
Or don't use the guy that I fired from Angel of Darkness.
Probably not. No.
He draws
Ooh,
bland
throw
average
shade,
people.
John. You've already talked about firing your bloods already today.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, caption: Solar probe monitoring, control and data room C.
All right, I'll take the first part.
I go for it.
Sure.
This is it, my friends. We're about to set the world on fire. When Juice finds life on Ganymede. Is that right?
Ganymede.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're way too hopeful. We'll be lucky if the drill doesn't snap on the first layer of rock ice.
Hey, give me a bit of credit. I designed it to cut through the hardest substances we found from here to Mars.
Panel 3, medium shot. In the background, Amano turns to directly face the other two in the foreground. He tips his open palm toward Ling, whatever that means.
Well, Dr. Lee, why not open the data stream and let's see Dr. Bauer's work in progress?
I've already started the download. I've been working, not daydreaming about alien bacteria.
Dr. Lee, you should be more excited. This is a huge discovery.
That's not what the line says.
Oh, this
Close.
could be a huge discovery.
Panel 4, close up. Ling adjusts his thick glasses, his eyes unmoving from his screen as his face expresses annoyance.
I'd be more positive had our governments cared to give me a budget for a more seasoned and sizable team, not to mention a better lab.
Page 6.
Ling's is really laying
They're
it out.
too busy paying off their prostitutes.
Sure. Panel 1, close up. Amano sighs and turns back to his screen.
Dr. Lee, your lack of enthusiasm for discovery never ceases to amaze me. Just because we're younger and not focused on mining doesn't make this any less important work. Besides, your mistakes on series is what landed you in our little company. Might as well accept your fate.
That's not how you spell accept.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Panel 2, close up on Ling. He adjusts his glasses again, never looking away from his screen. He is totally Shinji's dad.
My history has no bearing on my reason for taking this mission. I simply don't want to move to Mars. This job has potential to find good material to harvest. Since it's all remote work, I can sit at home at Apollo Station and watch the finder's fees roll in. I don't care about bacteria.
Oh man, that passive income trap. Dude's gonna be the first to die, right?
Maybe.
Panel 3, close up on Ella. She huffs in anger, her face becoming red with anger in a way that's totally not repetitive.
Yeah.
I'm sick of your attitude, Dr. Lee. Could we just focus on the data and stop arguing? Amano, are those results up yet?
Panel 4, close up. Amano's screen starts to flicker up telemetry data and charts. Amano's reflection is seen in the screen, looking at the data.
Coming up now.
Panel 5, close up. Ellie looks smugly towards her monitor with a half smile.
How did my drill do? Drilling well.
Panel 6, close up. Red lines of text and data are shown in the reflection of Amano's eyes. That's a cool shot.
Not good.
Page 7. Panel 1, wide shot. All the monitors in the lab start to flash red text warnings. Amano scrambles on his keyboard, trying to make sense of all the errors. The others are equally panicked.
Doesn't make sense. Everything is green till the drill starts and then blam.
Blam?
Yeah, blam. The lander goes completely dead. All systems negative.
Panel 2, medium shot. Mana looks over his shoulder as Ling jumps to his feet, screaming, white as a ghost.
What the hell?
What's wrong?
The image from the probe. Bring them up on the large screen.
Panel 3,
exclamation
close up.
points.
Amano's
Yeah, lots
fingers
of
type
exclamation
at his keyboard. Panel 4, medium shot. Point of view looking at the 3 scientists. They all stare up in shock at the image on the monitor.
What is it?
Whatever it is, it's moving. It's alive.
Panel 5. Close up on the large screen, blurry images scroll across the screen of the hand coming up from the ice and full creature from above covering a large portion of the landscape shots from the probe.
And it's massive.
Page 8, panel 1, wide shot. Back on the surface of Ganymede, the creature looks up into space. Its large horn begins to vibrate and glow with building energy, no copy. Panel 2, wide shot. A bubble of energy radiates out from the horn, breaking out into surrounding space, no copy. Panel 3, medium shot. The energy bubble hits the JUICE probe in orbit, shredding away its solar panels and causing it to wildly start spinning in orbit, no copy. Panel 4, wide shot. The energy bubble spreads outward from Jupiter across the solar system. No copy. Page 9, panel 1, medium shot. A small egg-shaped object in the orbit of Jupiter is hit by the energy bubble. It begins to glow an eerie green light. No copy. Panel 2, medium shot. The egg-shaped object appears to power up and start to fly towards Ganymede in the distance. No copy. Panel 3, wide shot. The egg enters the orbit of Ganymede near the wildly spinning probe. Now we see the egg-shaped object is rather small, about a third of the size compared to the JUICE probe. No copy. Panel 4, medium shot. The egg scans the probe with a beam of green light. No copy. Panel 5, POV inside the egg. An image on the monitor zooms down towards the creature on the surface. Strange alien words scroll across the screen. Page 10, panel 1, medium shot over nothing's shoulder. The creature looks upward as if it senses the egg watching it. It opens its jaw and screams. Screechia. Screehishara. Panel 2, wide shot. The creature fires a black bolt of energy from its horn upward towards the egg. No copy.
Fuck yeah.
Panel 3, close up. The egg glows a bright green light from within. No copy. Panel 4, wide shot. The egg shoots off rapidly to space as the bolt of energy vaporizes the remainder of the probe. No copy. Page 11. Wide shot. Inside a large capsule with bare white walls on all sides. 3 older men, 2 Asian, and the one in the center Caucasian, wearing gold-colored jumpsuits, brandishing marks of high ranking, like fucking scepters of office. Come on, man. Sit on the left side of a long white table in the middle of the capsule. See design document. On the right side sit Amano, Ella, and Ling. The 3 older men all look down at tablets, scrolling through images. Caption: International Lunar Laboratory 2, Central Planning and Logistics Capsule. Panel 2. Medium shot. The man in the center of the 3 older men, Station Commander Leopold Granin, sets down his tablet and addresses the 3 scientists. Whew.
Oh, all right. What the hell am I looking at here?
Panel 3, close up. Amano leans forward, crossing his hands on the table in front of him.
Well, sir, based on the data, something very large and alive was disturbed on Ganymede by our drilling probe. This life form completely destroyed the lander when it rose from the ice.
Panel 4, close up. Granin rubs his left temple with his hand as he tries to process the information.
So you're saying a giant space monster crushed our $450 million lander?
That seems cheap for a lunar lander.
Yeah, I didn't know what to make it.
I mean,
Especially in this economy. Look at this inflation. Come on, man.
Yeah, and this is the future.
Maybe I'll make it more expensive.
Man, the future's going to be so cheap. Panel
Or just
5.
make up a currency.
Yeah.
Close up on a mono. No, just say it's like a $2 trillion lander. Bam.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Close up on a mono.
Okay.
His expression
$450 trillion lander.
That's the one with a gun on it. That's going to be able to destroy the
Yeah,
space.
yeah. That's right.
Well, sir, yes, I would say that's a crude but accurate assessment.
Page 11, panel 1, medium shot. Grannon slams his fist against the table hard and shouts at the scientists.
My guys disagree.
Panel 2, wide shot. The three men look sternly towards the reader. Grannon continues to berate the three scientists.
Dr. Lee's former colleagues, experts from the Joint Space Command, and top planetary military men are telling me this is a massive cryovolcano.
That's not the line. Top extraplanetary military men.
Ah,
Yeah.
all right. Sorry.
Panel 3, close up on Grannon's face from the side. He continues his verbal assault, spit flying from his mouth.
Are you going to sit there and tell me these men and women are all dead wrong and that you three hold the real answers in your supposedly intelligent minds?
Panel 4, close up, shoulder head on a mono. He gulps nervously, not finding any words. Comedy sound effect. Gulp. That would be better off as dialogue, ... I think.
Okay.
Panel 5, close up, shoulder height on Ling. He sits silently, looking towards the table, adjusting his glasses with one hand. No copy. Panel 6, close up, shoulder height on Ella. With her head tilted downward, she nervously looks across the table and speaks.
We aren't wrong.
Page 12, panel 1, medium shot. Grannon slams his fist down on the table again.
Excuse me?
Panel 2, medium shot from the side. Ella in the foreground raises her head confidently and speaks louder. Amano beside her in the middle looks at her with a horrified expression. Ling in the background turns and shouts toward her.
We aren't wrong.
Shut up, woman!
Panel 3, wide shot, side view. Ella stands and points towards Grannon and the other two ranking officers, yelling in the process. Ling crosses his arms and turns away from her as Amano gestures for her to calm down. The commanders all stay silent and unmoving.
I won't shut up. We all know what a cryovolcano looks like. This is no fucking cryovolcano. Yeah, you tell him, woman.
Panel 4, medium shot. Grannon and the other two officers glare coldly towards the reader.
Are you done, Dr. Bauer?
Panel 5,
I'm
medium
done
shot.
when I say I'm done.
A sickly look of despair flashes across Ella's face as she realizes her mistake and begins to sink back down in her chair, aided by Amano as he addresses Mr. Grannon's question.
Yes, sir. I believe she's done.
I don't need a man to speak for me.
Direction has a few too many verbs for Ella, and
Yeah. Maybe.
Page 13, panel 1, close up on Grannon. He looks sternly towards her. Man, Shinji's dad is an asshole today.
You're all confined to quarters until we can have an official inquiry with the civilian trinational government officials present. Till then, I better not hear a peep from you three.
Panel 2, close up. Grannon slams his fist hard against the table again.
Now get out of my sight.
He's not going to have a fist or a table.
I would like to see him break the table. That would be fun.
It would be
awesome.
fun. Yeah.
Panel 3, wide shot, saying nothing. The three scientists stand and begin to walk towards the right of the side of the table, towards an exit. They are followed by two guards who appeared out of nowhere wearing heavy armor and helmets armed with rifles. Panel, no copy. Panel 4, wide shot. Grannon in the foreground watches the door in the background that the three scientists exited from closes tight with a clang.
Bang.
Clang. Panel 5, close up. Grannon folds his hands in front of his forehead, closing his eyes as if praying. He speaks to the other commanders.
Now, gentlemen, what do we do about this life form?
Page 14. Panel 1. Wide shot looking down, Amano lays on his pull-out bunk, drinking from a steel mug in his left hand. The standard 12 by 12 quarters are cramped and prison-like. Charts and notes are scattered on the floor and taped to his walls. There's a small 4x4 standing shower at the head of the bed with a flush and sink behind it. And a small dresser next to the door on the left. A model of 2 anime mecha can be seen on the top of his dresser. At the foot of the bed, the wall is lined with a coat rack. A few lab coats and an emergency spacesuit hang there. He thinks to himself, frowning ever frustrated.
This is such bullshit. I know what the probe saw. And that massive energy pulse, they never ever let us get to that.
Panel 2, wide shot, forward facing. Mono jolts up from the bunk, whipping the steel mug at his door. It impacts hard with a loud clang. He screams out loud, show the motion across the panel.
Fucking bullshit.
Panel 3, close up. The door slides open a crack, letting light from the hall in. No coffee, but that's fine. Panel 4, medium shot. The backlit silhouette of a military police officer is seen looking through the crack. The visor of his helmet is glowing pale red. Is the only form seen on his body.
Everything all right there, Doctor?
Panel 5, close up. Amano cracks a fake smile, which in a comic looks exactly the same as a real smile, and waves the officer away.
Everything is fine. I just tripped and my mug went flying.
Panel 6, medium shot. The door slides shut with a thud. The officer says nothing. Mono mutters off panel.
All
Thanks
right.
for checking.
there's one more
That's
page.
the end of our submitted pages.
Is it?
I mean, well, this is 13 of 13, but all right. And we started on page.
It's 5 to 15, so
5
it
to
would have
15,
been 5
okay,
to 14.
5 pages. Yeah.
Okay. I was just looking at the top
Oh,
here. It
yeah.
says 13. You know, this is we're hitting the end of the document. I just assumed, but okay.
Yeah,
here we go,
yeah.
Page 15, panel 1. Same
we
view
go.
as page 14, panel 1. Amano lays back out on his bunk, resting one arm over his head as he stares upward towards the reader.
I wonder how the others are handling this.
Panel 2, same view as the last panel, only now in Ella's quarters. Her room is identical, but much cleaner and neatly stacked engineering textbooks line the foot of her bunk next to her clothes rack. We see similar lab coats, a few casual dresses, useful on the moon, and an emergency spacesuit hanging. Reports and drill schematics are neatly taped to her walls above her dresser. Ella is curled in a ball on her bunk, wearing only a thin white tank top and panties. She weeps silently. Panel 3, same view as
Dresses
the
in
last
low
one.
gravity are great for panty shots.
I know. Yeah.
They are, yes.
Yeah.
And the last panel, quarters. His room is also identical, but unlived in. He doesn't. So how are they his quarters?
They're not.
Anyways,
But
nothing on the floors or walls, and only the space hanging on the clothes rack. He quietly lays in his bed, reading a book about interplanetary mining stocks. Revisiting his glasses. Why isn't he wearing a white tank top and panties?
you want equality? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Panel 4, close up. A red light on a wall starts flashing. A station-wide alert starts sounding. A loud alarm pulses. An alert message sounds over an intercom. Wahoo, wahoo, wahoo.
Incoming object on collision course. All personnel, please equip your personal atmospheric pressure suits.
That's not how you spell personnel, Larry.
Okay. Sorry. I wrote it fast today.
All good.
Yeah.
All right.
He was like, "Holy crap! I can't be outdone by John and his potentially $16,000 Kickstarter. I must write something."
I've been working on this for like 3 weeks on and off, so just trying to get little bits in every.
Well, things
Yeah.
happened. We
Yeah.
had characters given dialogue. We had Ling. We had this kind of they were a bit over the top. You know, I enjoyed Ling. Ling was fun. We had military commander guy. He was screaming at a lot of people about his busted up drill. We had an incoming from Godzilla. So it's shaping up. You know, look, I don't know what you want when you go to Godzilla in space, but this is delivering something in the neighborhood of that. So great, thank you.
Cool.
Ibrahim.
Constructive criticism or
No.
Okay,
Yeah,
what I
this is the
appreciate.
good part.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, what you liked about it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess some of the visuals
there is a
they
good
seem
part,
kind of
yeah.
interesting. I guess
or
the
if you want,
dialogue.
you can pull Larry and just pass.
Yeah, you can do that.
You could, but no.
Yeah, I
All right, go
guess
ahead.
I'll just say what I liked.
Yeah.
I guess another thing was probably the power dynamic between the three of them. Like it seemed kind of interesting, you know, like they were subordinates or something. So like maybe expand more upon that. Like, why are they working for this company if, you know, they kind of are like inferior to them or whatever, those three people that are on the board or whatever. Yeah, I guess that's what I had to say.
All right, Danny.
Well, the spelling and grammar was much better than John's.
There we go.
And also, it was successfully more of a Godzilla story. I remember some of the stuff from last time. So
Yeah, it was a bit rough last time. So
it aside from the parts I'm going to mention later, it seemed less rough this time.
John.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely delivered on your build up to Godzilla in space, and we had aliens flying eggs, and so Mork made an appearance, which is nice. And yeah, it was very interesting. I am intrigued at where the story may go.
All right. Constructive. It feels a little derivative. I know that it is Godzilla in space. It just feels like these scenes feel there's so much sci-fi now, and like Star Wars is everywhere and stuff. It's just it can be a little hard to feel fresh sometimes in this genre. I'm just not sure what this comic is bringing me that I'm not already seeing. So
you'll see it in the next couple of pages.
Fantastic. All right,
Yeah.
Ibrahim.
I guess maybe like one thing that was kind of interesting was like, how does the monster look like? You know, we kind of see a horn or something. Like,
Oh, it was in the
kind of...
first couple pages, but yeah, sorry.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah. He's basically a giant lizard, kind of like Godzilla, but he's got a really long like narwhal tusk on his head, basically. So that's where the horn comes in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess just maybe add more between the power dynamic, like those three. Do they operate mechs or like do they get into some type of situation?
There
Just
might be a
something
mech.
interesting.
There might be something like that.
Yeah, like character growth and kind of advancing the story.
All that shit. Danny.
Okay, so there's a lot of pages in this where nothing really happens. And those pages don't really need to be there. There's a whole bunch of characters that don't need to be there. And I think this is a better story when you cut to what's the threat to people, Earth, or things that we are implied to care about. So to that end, I think the entire scene with the boss should be cut.
Ooh, that's going to be tough.
And you can probably condense it to about 2 pages of like video communications while they're in the lab that you've already developed as a set, as a location. They don't need to go to a new location for this. You don't need 3 bosses, just 1 boss is fine. And it would be interesting, I think, to lean into the lackadaisical attitude our protagonists have towards this space mining operation. In the scene where where they see Godzilla come out of the planet and they're like waiting for the video feed, if they start talking about normal things and they're like, holy fuck, what's that? And we actually see them reacting to it, like while the action is happening. Because right now the reaction is reasonably divorced from the actual action, and then no one's commenting on the fucking space egg, or like maybe someone thinks it's a bacteria. Like, lean into the gags and the character traits that you've already created. You could be using this opportunity to build your characters a bit better, and maybe even because currently the threat is there's a space Godzilla, but frankly, if it's going the other way, it doesn't really affect anybody. Like, woo, it killed a probe, right? So like, right now, we have the science experiment gone hilariously right, and not much,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
and nothing to actually like put our characters' lives in danger or to make them want to defeat this creature.
I mean, that's a
John?
fair point. But
Sorry.
From an page panel perspective, I think several of your panels can actually be combined. There's a lot of times where one character is doing one thing and another character in one panel, and another character is doing another thing in another panel, and I don't know why they just can't be doing those things in the same panel. But that notwithstanding, I'm very confused as to the egg and the aliens and just what the hell's going on. I don't understand why the boss man is so upset with these three, or trying to deny that he's trying to tell these scientists that they didn't see Godzilla, even though he knows they did see Godzilla. I don't understand why he's keeping them in the dark.
the government never keeps anyone in the dark. Yeah.
What are you, American?
Yeah.
Okay, well, hear me out.
I'm listening.
But it's not that he's keeping them in the dark. They saw it. He knows they saw it. They're not the people to keep in the dark. They're the people that you pay off to not talk to anybody else. They're the ones you threaten to say, hey, if you do this, we will end you. We will throw you in a prison in a bottom, out on some space rock a billion light years away, and you will never be heard from again if you talk to somebody about this. Not tell them, oh, we don't believe you. Like, that's how you make extremists, is when you start telling people that's
You're
it's
catching
gonna breed
on.
the
Yeah.
exact opposite.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it makes no
Godzilla in space
sense
with
why
Patriots.
they would do
Yeah.
that.
All right, fair enough. I love it. Let's see
Yeah.
it.
I
Oh,
just
man.
don't. That doesn't make any
You'll
sense to
you'll
me.
get okay. Yeah. You're assuming that the Godzilla creature is coming towards the space station, but we
I'm
didn't see
not
the
assuming
Godzilla.
that Godzilla is Larry. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm going off of the dialogue where after the three scientists left the room, the boss man said to the other two boss men, and what are we going to do about the Godzilla creature? That's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. If the boss men know the Godzilla creature is there, I feel like that interaction would go a lot differently. If they don't believe that Godzilla is there, then that conversation goes exactly as it is. But if they do believe that Godzilla is there, I feel like that conversation would go differently.
By the way, I just want to say that the fact that we are referring to this creature by the trademark of another IP just goes to show you how much better the name Godzilla is than Moonbaby.
Well, Moonbaby is not the
okay.
name of the monster,
all right,
but
fair enough.
yeah.
Well, in all honesty, like nobody is going to,
You're going to sell us as Godzilla in space, right? Like
everybody's going to be calling it Godzilla in space, no matter what you call it.
Yeah. Well, you could at least give it some kind of cool name, like
Yeah.
Otherwise, people are going to call it Godzilla, like to your face, looking at your book, going, "So Godzilla does this," Anyway,
it's going to have an extremely weird and stupid name. So yeah.
But anyway, I just think that kind of didn't really land for me. I feel like that they should either, if you want to pit them against you can still create the dramatic tension between the boss man and the scientists and not have him lie that he knows that Godzilla is out there. I mean, how many Godzilla movies is it like, well, we're the military and we're going to go hunt down and kill Godzilla, and the other person's like, but Godzilla's the good guy, he's going to save us. They're never denying Godzilla exists. It's always, what are we going to do about Godzilla? And that's where the conflict comes from. And I think that'll create a stronger conflict between these two than just having them flat out deny its existence. And that, I guess that was basically it.
Awesome. All right, Larry.
Okay, cool.
Do you feel like you've been edified?
Yeah, I mean,
Your script fortified?
for sure. Yeah,
All right.
I don't think I'm going to change much right now. I'm going
Fair
to
enough.
finish writing it in.
You can take your notes and shove it.
Well,
All
no,
right.
I have a certain plotting in mind, and I just want to
Okay.
see how it works out. And,
Dude,
Yeah, I
it's your
think,
story, it's not mine.
yeah.
You know, yeah.
There's like another suggestion I kind of thought of, like maybe
here we
the
go.
government or the boss people, like they have some mission they want the other three people to do, but there's like a moral conflict because the other three characters know something about the Godzilla creature that will endanger, if they don't do that and like fight it or something, versus the government's orders, like something bad could happen.
I just think it's an
something-
extremely zoomed in view of space bacteria.
And I'm super confused about the egg and the alien in the egg. That's
because the
that-
boss
that-
men are secretly egg aliens.
Is it like
All
a
right,
baby
look,
Godzilla?
I look forward to getting more pages from Larry on this story, and he will reveal what the egg is and more about the alien.
yeah.
Or maybe he won't. Who knows?
Oh, I will.
Okay, awesome. All right.
Before the end of issue 1.
Exactly. I'm
Nope.
gonna call it a night. Congratulations
Alrighty.
again to John. You're out
Thank
there.
you.
You're living the life. You're living the dream, my friend. And let's have a happy 2023, everyone.
Oh, I am $80
Yes.
short of $7,000.
So good.
There you go.
So good. 16. Here we come. All right,
Oh
everybody.
yeah.
Hopefully we'll have something next week. Hopefully, we'll see.
Oh, I'll
We'll
have
see.
pages next week.
Awesome,
Don't you worry about it.
fantastic. Well, then we'll be here next week. Tune in. We'll see how Angel of Darkness 3 is pacing. Good night, everyone.
All right.